What's up everybody, Shadow Ninja here, and welcome back to Rage Quit. Today we are going to be doing a review of the Spider-Man HEIST DLC that came out earlier today. I'm sorry I promised a full walkthrough and a full playthrough, but I recorded all the gameplay and I realized that some of the cutscenes did not record, and of course the ending didn't record, so that is very disappointing. But future Spider-Man DLCs, I will do complete walkthroughs, and if you guys in the comments still want to see the full gameplay anyway, just let me know. But besides that, here's some gameplay for you guys, just showing what's in the DLCs. Alright, but let's talk about the DLC gameplay and the story anyway. Just because it's not 100% recorded does not mean we don't get to talk about it and review it. But anyway, Black Cat is back in New York City to cause trouble for Spider-Man and other supervillains such as the Hammerhead, and basically everybody's just trying to figure out what's going on with Black Cat. And everybody, just before I get into the nitty-gritty of the story, just keep in mind there will be a lot of spoilers, so if you guys don't want to hear about any of that, then please click off the video now. If you guys already played through the main Spider-Man story campaign, you would have already know that there were side quests with Black Cat where she was setting up cameras throughout New York City, basically kind of like taking pictures of the places that she hit as far as stealing items, and you know, basically how Black Cat does. But now she's back in New York City to cause trouble for Spider-Man and of course the Hammerhead, as I said before. She basically goes on to try to sympathize with Spider-Man in the very beginning of the DLC, telling him that she's got a son, and Hammerhead, which is a crime boss, is holding her son against her will. And this troubles Spider-Man a little bit because he thinks that this son is his son because he was dating Black Cat for a little while during this Spider-Man's timeline. So basically, Hammerhead is blackmailing Black Cat into doing exactly what he wants, because if she doesn't, then he will kill her son. We find out in the campaign that Black Cat and Spider-Man do eventually team up and partner up together against Hammerhead and his gang forces. And it's really cool to see the dynamic between the two of them because so much time has passed and so much maturity as far as the character growth goes along the way. It's very reminiscent of the Arkham City and also the Arkham Knight campaign with Batman and Catwoman, because, you know, in that campaign you got to see how they both work together. They alternated between two people to fight the enemies such as the Riddler and more. Also Harvey Dent. But in this campaign, you don't get to play as Black Cat, which is a little bit disappointing. I know in my predictions video I said it would be really cool if we could play as Black Cat because she's got like a wrist gauntlet and she can swing throughout New York City as well. It's been seen in the cutscenes, but unfortunately you don't get to play as her. But there are certain sections in the story campaign where you get to fight with her, and also there's a stealth sequence where you get to call her down, kind of like when you were Mary Jane and you were with Spider-Man, calling Spider-Man down to take care of the bad guys for you. You get to do this in this campaign, calling down Black Cat to take out bad guys that you can't necessarily get to at that certain point, but it is really cool to see the dynamic between the two of them, like I said before. Their chemistry is really cool, and it just shows also a lot of tension because she's been gone, Black Cat's been gone for so long, and all of a sudden she's back. She told Spider-Man that she was gonna let the crime stuff go, that she was gonna, you know, take it easy. But of course, she said because of her son and because of being blackmailed, she had to struggle as a single mom, and she basically just got thrown right back into the crime scheme. We also find out that her father was the original Black Cat. 20 or 40 some years ago, it said also in the campaign, because you also team up with another detective, and there is a side quest where you have to find the missing stolen paintings that Felicia's father actually hid throughout the city before he met his demise. But anyways guys, that's the main campaign. I'm not going to spoil the ending for you guys because it is a really cool ending, and we get this feeling that Black Cat is going to bleed into the other DLCs because it is left on a cliffhanger, and there is a to be continued screen and an after credit scene as well. But a little bit during the main story, we also get to play as Mary Jane in a stealth sequence. It's short, it's easy, it's only one stealth sequence, and I didn't really care for the stealth sequences in the main campaign, but it was kind of cool to play as her again, I guess. And we also hear a little bit from Miles Morales. He's adapting to his new powers, and he's trying to fit in as a new Spider-Man. He's calling Peter up on his spider phone, and he's asking him if he can train the kid in order to be a new Spider-Man. Of course, Peter's treating him like a Robin character, and he's like, no, you're only only 15, you're not ready, you should probably be in school and studying and working on your own life rather than trying to be a Spider-Man, which Miles kind of comes to terms with the fact that he's like, okay, yeah, whatever, and that's all we hear from him. But as far as the main story goes, it was really cool. It's only like an hour long, 2 hours maybe. It is a really cool story. It gives us a lot of dynamic with Felicia and Spider-Man, not just as superhero counterparts, but also as human beings. Alright, let's start getting into some of the side quests. There is a new gang faction, but there is no hideouts anymore. It's not like you can just go into a hideout, do a stealth sequence, and then when they find you, complete waves of enemies. It's just simple crime spread throughout the city. I'm not really sure how I feel about that, but it is something to keep doing. There are more collectibles throughout the city, such as paintings that were left by Felicia's father, the original Black Cat, 20 to 40 some years ago. I'm not sure whether it's 20 or 40, but he left paintings throughout the city that he stole, and it is really cool to see the inspiration for Black Cat, that she just wants to follow in her father's footsteps and kind of just improve and basically be a better Black Cat and a better vigilante, which is also cool. And there also is, just a couple things spread throughout the city, nothing too crazy, but I do appreciate the extra effort put in, so now the city is a little bit more busy. It is separated from the main story, so you can't go and do main story stuff and Black Cat story stuff at the same time, but anyways, it's a good time waster. It's not really that long, only 1 or 2 hours like I said before, but what you really want out of this DLC is the main story. But as far as this review goes, I really did like it. It's only the first part, but I'm still pretty sure that we're going to see more Black Cat in the upcoming DLCs, and I'm still crossing my fingers that maybe we get to play as some alternate characters other than Peter, MJ, and Miles Morales, because each superhero character, like Taskmaster or Black Cat, has their own unique way of traversing throughout the city. Black Cat with their grappling, and Taskmaster is basically just a hybrid of all the superheroes that he tries to learn from, so it would be really cool to toy around with that and experiment the different ways that we could traverse throughout the city, kind of like the Arkham City DLCs did, when you got to play as Catwoman and Azrael and Robin. I might be confusing that with Arkham Knight. But anyway, yeah, it would be really cool to play as different characters, maybe even challenges. That would be sufficient enough for me. But yeah, this main DLC is pretty fun. Like I said before, good time waster, nothing too serious. You can do the side quests throughout the city, but you're mainly just gonna want to do the main story mode. So, in my opinion, it's a really good alternate game mode. But guys, that's all I have for you today. If you did like this video, you can give this one a thumbs up. If you want to see the full gameplay, I can just do it over again on New Game Plus. Not big of a deal. But I just want to know if you guys want it, so put in the comments whether you want to see the full gameplay of this DLC, other than me just talking about it in a review. I am going to do the other DLCs, full gameplay, the remaining two. And if you want to subscribe to the Rage Quit channel to support us even more, that would be great. But anyways, guys, like I said before, that's all I have for you. Thank you for watching, and as always, I will see you on the next one.